views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Greetings, Brother Mike back on the radio. You are about to listen to the nastiest Christian radio broadcast in the United States. You're going to hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and we don't care who likes it. Welcome to the program. God bless you. Today's Bible study, illnesses caused by rejection. Well, this is something you've got to hear. Please call somebody right now who's mentally ill or emotionally ill. This research study is for you. This is Brother Mike. I'm the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Central Phoenix. We're on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road, in the heart of Maricopa County, Arizona. HardcoreChristianity.com is the website. We have two services every week, Thursday and Friday at 7 p.m. It's broadcast live on our YouTube teaching channel, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. This month's free seminar is the last Friday of August, Ladies Healing Night. It's usually our very best seminar of the year. The men will be in the overflow sanctuary. The ladies will be in the main sanctuary. It is really something. You ought to come and see these women get delivered and healed. It's something special. Don't forget about Sister Karen. She's on the homepage of the website. She'll be happy to sell your house for you. She loves working with born-again Christians. Also, the PayPal button. Thank you for sending your donations every month. Thank you for your tithes and your offering. It has been fantastic. It's the middle of the year, 2018, and we have not been late on one payment for anything thanks to you. Thank you for your prayers and your donations. We have had so many people healed this year, record numbers of people healed, record numbers of people delivered from demons. Illnesses caused by rejection. And I've been teaching about this spirit, the spirit of rejection, for years now, and I've seen hundreds of people delivered from this monster. What happens is, he is the main demon Satan sends to all dysfunctional families in the United States of America. This rejection demon attacks the child during periods of stress, physical, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, trauma, or extreme disappointment. The spirit gets into the child's brain. The spirit then starts to develop or alter the child's personality. He develops low self-esteem, a low self-concept. He then later lets in other demons such as fear, anger, and lust. After they go through puberty, he then brings in romantic relationships that almost all of them end up in rejection, and the relationships end up broken. The person later on picks up a spirit of infirmity, and they start developing strange illnesses doctors can't cure. This rejection demon is a monster. He's a ringleader. He runs the circus, and he lets the other spirits in, and the person develops fear-based anxiety disorders, phobias, all kinds of medical problems that can't be cured, and a string of broken relationships. One bad man, one bad marriage, one bad woman after the other. And this spirit hiding in the person's brain, the person doesn't know he's in there, is causing this whole carnival. It's a carnival of carnality and destruction. Well, in 2010, and by the way, I did a radio show on this years ago when it came out. In 2010, UCLA did a research study on 124 students, and what they found was that stress and personal rejection by others causes something interesting. The measurements of inflammatory markers on the samples of oral fluids in each person dramatically accelerated after the stress in the tests, meaning that the inflammatory markers are the ones that, if they go up, the person is less likely to fight off a disease and is more susceptible to receiving one. That's why doctors always teach people that stress is directly related to physical illnesses. The doctors, not understanding how the system actually works, don't understand that there's a spirit of rejection or a spirit of infirmity behind these illnesses. The results of that UCLA survey found that rejection triggers responses in the body that can increase a person's risk for maladies such as asthma, arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and depression. Can you imagine that? This is actually documented in a research study at UCLA. Well, in 2013, Psychology Today reported on another research study. This one was more extensive and involved MRI studies of the brain. This remarkable research study found that rejection piggybacks on the physical pain pathways in the brain. In other words, when a person goes through the stress of being personally rejected by others, family, friends, coworkers, what have you, the same process of pain in the brain physically occurs emotionally. The MRI study showed that the same areas of the brain become activated when we experience rejection as when we experience physical pain. The article said that's why rejection hurts so much. Our brains respond similarly to rejection as they do physical pain. The research study also revealed that this is why people can relive and re-experience rejection pain, personal pain, social pain, family rejections, employment rejection, what have you, more vividly than we can physical pain. They ran tests on people, and the people that recalled incidents in their life where they were physically hurt did not experience any subsequent physical pain or relapse of that experience. People who recalled being rejected by others, suffering painful rejection, started to actually recall the same feelings and emotions they had at the time it happened, even if the incident was 10, 20, 30 years earlier. It was amazing. In addition, they found during the research study that rejection creates surges of anger and aggression. And that followed a survey in 2001 by the Surgeon General of the United States, who said that rejection was a greater risk for adolescent violence than drugs, poverty, or gangs. And research has been done on these people that use drugs and addicts, and people who are living in poverty, and people who have joined gangs, and they've always found in their childhood this terrible concept of family and social rejection. Nobody knows, however, that it's being caused by the spirit of rejection sent to that family and that person by the devil. This whole system, which is going to lead to kind of an implosion of our society here in America with riots and violence all over the country. It's coming, folks. It's just around the corner, I'm telling you. Cops can't stop it. There aren't enough police to control it. Trust me, they've already had stand-down orders all over the country where riots broke out. But it's all caused by this horrible spirit of rejection in childhood that has ruined people's lives. They also found that people who had rejection in childhood and suffered the stress of rejection also led to taking out their aggressions on innocent bystanders and other family members. And they concluded that rejection was always a part of school shootings, violence against women, and fired workers going postal, they said in the article. It's a spirit of rejection. In addition, they found that rejection stress causes the person to go on a mission to seek and destroy their own self-esteem. And they had a section on romantic rejections, where the person who is rejected romantically by a lover or a spouse tends to bemoan all their own inadequacies and kick themselves when they're already down. They tend to damage their self-esteem. They tend to blame others and attack their own self-worth during periods of rejection stress. In addition, in the research, listen to this, they found that rejection stress temporarily lowers the human IQ. Can you imagine that? They said it damages short-term memory and the ability of the mind to make decisions. In addition, during their research, they found that rejection obviously does not respond to reason. Yeah, no kidding. You can't think straight. And what people don't understand is that in childhood, this horrible demon entered your mind and he ran your self-worth into the ground, and he brings back vivid memories of people who have hurt you in the past. He won't let you forgive them. He won't let you relieve the ought for them. And as a result of that, you have a root of bitterness. You have anger and distrust of others, and you are deeply hurt and can't get over it. Listen to me carefully. I have seen dozens of people delivered from the spirit and healed in their souls. And they've been able to forgive others and receive physical healing for their body from the Lord. You can't get healed by God if you have low self-esteem and think you're unworthy. The demons will block your healing. If you are a spirit-filled, born-again Christian, you're suffering from rejection, you've had it since you were a kid, you've done everything you can to overcome it, and everything's failed, you can come for help. You're eligible for free counseling services, 602-636-5800. 2 surveys, research studies, one of them on chemicals in the body, one of them on brain scans, show clearly what this demon is doing. He is able to affect the person's mind and their body by causing them to find themselves unworthy, to dislike themselves, to blame themselves, to be hard on themselves. When that happens, spiritually, they lose their fellowship with God. They can't get healed. They can't get delivered from demons. I've seen dozens of people completely healed of this spirit and physically and emotionally healed right in front of my eyes. You're next. God wants to help you get rid of the spirit of childhood rejection. 602-636-5800.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.